All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of Apostle Obsonate, or The Apostle Obsonate, Cultist Simulator with the Apostle Obsonate Legacy, starring Ike Upscribe, who has just recently been reinvigorated by his delight, Paul Samuelson, and will be either facing the consequences of the resulting fascination or mellowing it, having watched Stoom. So we've got a couple of things that we're currently working on. Right now, we are already at Crocus Hill. We actually only have a warded door to deal with, so with luck, Knock will break through. We're also ready to read another one of our books. And really, what the next few turns are largely going to be are sort of focusing on our abilities to get expeditions done really quickly, get rid of the notoriety that appears as a result, and essentially just try and shorten that gap that's emerged as a result of, of us taking so long to confront Julian. We're really getting to the point of no return. We're at 2 connections. If it gets to 10, then Mr. Cosley's going to pay us a visit in person. So let's start by dealing with our reading list. A true and complete accounting of the Asclepian mysteries of the roots of the house. Descriptions of the Asclepian mysteries reproduced by one Riley Gresse from supposedly a much older text. It's unlikely to be genuine, but it makes reference to the house without walls and its wood right there in the prologue. This is very obviously not an antique text. At the very least, it's been badly mutilated, but it contains substantial intriguing material, especially a persuasive comparison of the many-portaled house without walls to the human body. All right, so this is likely just going to be wasted time, but I wasn't sure if I got Mystique as a result of... the... excuse me. As a result of the blood. Okay, now we got fascination the last time we were here, so I'm going to risk it. If it is fascination, I'm in a little bit of trouble, but okay, it's erudition. I'm ready to improve. The worry was that if I went to the stairs, I might have got winter, which would have resulted in a dread that would have been harder to deal with at the moment. So, the Painted River runs from a great chamber near the White Door far through the Mansus to its far edge where it enters a painted delta of far cloud. I voyaged half its length with a stern-faced captain beneath a rust-red sail, and as the clouds rose before us, the sailors raised a yearning shanty and close-hauled the sails to best use the painted wind. And all the while, the captain and I discoursed of the secrets of the House of the Sun. Okay, so I think I said last time that I was actually going to try and deal with the fascination. I almost automatically went back to the Mansus, but here we will take fascination and dread. This is the original way you would get rid of fascination, and it'll be gone within the 25 seconds. Well, it's already gone now, so no one quite understands us, or else they understand us too well. I won't use the peculiar rumor that will only generate notoriety to no benefit. So the question would be, do I want to send Leo on the job again? I don't think I'm ready for that, and I do want to turn in some commissions. So let's talk with Jannings. I think immediately following, though, unless I can get another commission done really quickly, I think I should probably send Leo out for the job. Ah, curses. All right, I did make that last longer. Alright, I've received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip, so this might create some problems for me later. The clerks file out in silence. I'm free for now. So, here's what I want to do. Let's take a look at the sunset rite. This might be one that I find useful. So, the assistant must cry tears of genuine emotion, which are asperged in the place where influence lies. If all is done well, the sun and rags will consume the influence, acknowledge an ending, and lend its assistance. So the offering is influence. This is exactly one of the things that I'm looking to use. So we have desire. That is not as relevant to us, let's say. We've got an assistant, so as long as I bring a follower along, an invocation, which is lore. And so, as a result, all of these trips to the Mansus are now going to be generating that ever-important influence, and we're going to be able to put that influence towards the Sunset Rite. So the Sunset Rite is the thing that I'd been looking for a while. There was another one which I could have sworn was the Rite of Cease Fasting, but apparently I was wrong on that. But this is going to be something that cracks open our ability to do summonings. And as a result, the summons will not only be helpful in terms of doing our expeditions, but being able to summon something like a Callagine will be able to help us out with problems like evidence and such. So I'm not quite ready. Obviously, I don't have the influence now, but the work verb is now, Glover and Glover suddenly becomes a little bit riskier, just in terms of the time that it's taking away from more important work. In any case, we will get the Secret Histories commission done, so we will take our reason and apply it towards the brief treatise on the Secret Histories. I think let's just, I think I'm just going to throw Leo in right away. Try and charm people. And it looks like a dream attack. So we either need Moth or Winter. Let's go and send... I think one of them should have... I thought one of them should have Winter. Let's send Yzabet. Right. We bear a great power of opening, will almost certainly shatter this warded door. All doors must open as all lives must end. This door has found its end here today. So again, the best Yzabet can do is delay, but that's all we need here. The direction of death is down, the book explains. The peacock door has been considered a rent or an abrasion, but in some respects it's more like a mouth, if not a more treasured point of entry. Discussions of doors include a rite which may conjure creatures through those doors, although key incantations are missing. Ah, it's the right of the map's edge that I was looking for. Okay, so the two texts I was looking for have arrived. So, I don't really have anything to do with the study verb right now. I don't have the words. I don't have the ability to translate the works that I was looking for here. So I think we'll just let time pass by. It's fleeting reminiscence. Probably won't make use of it, but just in case. And let's go back to the stag door. And at this point, I'm specifically looking for influence. There are other ways that I can get it, but I'll work with what I've got. Okay, so I need to hope that nothing happens for a minute. I finished the manuscript. So go back to Glover and Glover just for the time being. Unlucky with the health, but should have just paid closer attention. So Dread's coming up. I've become unwell. So one of the nice things about this is because I don't have anything to do with the study verb right now, I can actually just do fresh air and exercise. It'll take a minute, but I'm hoping it'll take a minute for us to finish this expedition. The Warrior's End. It is almost possible to stand upright in this place, but the air is foul and our lamps burn low. Here is the Warrior King staked out on the funeral stone, his bones smashed to keep him from walking. The orbits of his skull are bound with bronze. No one understands us, or else they understand us too well. So, I suppose I have a question in terms of how willing am I to bear some notoriety on the table. I think I'll wait the 13 seconds. I'll turn in with Dr. Adim. Oh, actually, I can get a commission from Madame Bichet. She's seeking pieces for the notorious Karashim Review. So we'll wait for things to turn over. Oh, excellent. A subtle rupture. Geometry contorts. Doors burst open. Snakes boil from the earth. 10th order influence. A gathering knot of power and peril. This can be used in some rites to summon minions. And we're at Glover and Glover, so we'll be able to do our first summoning. In sleep, I ran my fingers along the ridged edges of the stag's door scars. Our company it was that shattered it, Gearby says suddenly, before the gods who were flesh. Mansus was forbidden to mortals. We were the first no. He begins again to weep his molten tears. I wish that we had not. I wish that I died in the world. I've forgotten what else he said, but I remember... but I remember the shape of the fissures in the stag door, and for all of today, doors will fear my touch. Okay, so we're not going to be doing a commission next round, but we are going to summon our first creature, and we're actually going to go back through the stag door. It's a little early to do this, but once you get a taste for summoning, you just gotta keep doing it. Okay, If a hunter has found notoriety, they will try to use it to create or upgrade evidence. If they're meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail, but they can occasionally create evidence without notoriety. So, Madame Bichet would like a commission on Grail, which we are perfectly equipped to deliver. However, I have other priorities, so I have what the doctor required, 10 seconds, and we will get our payment. Also get a commission from Jannings. Others have been here before us. Power still lingers, and no doubt they have used it in their ceremonies. They have taken some of the Warrior King's funeral treasures, but left something of their own. So, excellent work, Enid. Oh, these positions are a little weird, so... It's an icy atmosphere. I gotta be careful about that for the dread. So, notoriety, we're gonna have to get rid of that. Funds left over. Good work, Valsini and Neville. So, we have a bone flute. This is level 4. Its sound will cease. Piebald pigment from the crushing wings of rare lepidopterans. Lepidopterans. Painting black or painting white. This is the stuff that will see you right. Gradon oil, we've already got that, but... Meteoric bullet. Tanite iron bullets are occasionally dug from the skeletons of unusual beasts across Europe, the Middle East, and India. Someone has been hunting monsters. So I believe that is our first... edge artifact. And the Book of the Centipede. In the mid-1860s, when Madame Yi presented an entertainment based, she claimed, on this book. I think we might have read this already, but just in case we didn't, I will I'll translate the Greek as soon as it's ready. All right, now as far as I'm concerned, we should just be jumping straight into the next expedition. But before I do that, I actually need to sell something. Otherwise, it's going to be a short run. So let's, it'd be great if I could actually get some silver spintrea, but that's maybe hoping for a little too much. So let's go to Oriflammes, let's sell off the iron. This curiosity will earn you some funds. All right, I've received the currency of the secret world, and my patron has let tantalizing information slip. So the hope here is that they'll take the notoriety over the mystique, but we'll work with what we've got. So Jannings, the Good Count's fraternity in Europe, is seeking particular research. Clerks file out in silence, and I am free for now. So let's take the sunset right, subtle rupture. Now it seems to me the most likely problem I'm going to have to deal with is evidence. So I believe it is a combination of forge and winter. Is that right? I feel like I always get this one wrong. But let's start with winter. There are possibilities here if I add edge, heart, or forge. So here I would need a forge assistant. Here we can bring Valsine. Summon a creature from the Forge of Days. I found a useful conjunction of aspects, but I will need more power to call for this smoky, tricksy entity. I will need significant power of forge as well as a little winter and knock. Okay. Well, that's fine, because we can get rid of Valsine for now. We can instead bring in Violet. And then we will just take the Calidate Invocation, which should be enough. There we go. Forge for the Smoky Spirit summoning, Winter for its binding. It must know who will rule it. So, and in a minute we will summon a creature of Smoky Deception. Alright, Despair rears its head, and we have an affliction. However, we will get rid of that affliction in 20 seconds or so. 13. Here's what he needs. Another heart commission. All right. It's going to be a little hard to get these works done as well as sort of maintain the expeditions. I'm a little strapped for everything, if I'm completely honest, but we'll work with what we've got. So first up, let's get Leo to do the charm offensive again. I think once we get the money from the auction, I'm going to just go straight to Kiglin's Scratch and hope for the best. I'm safe for now. My adversary has not enough evidence to bring a case against me, and they found no new clues. Alright, so there's the vitality. We'll combine that with the affliction when the dream becomes available, and let's translate the Book of the Centipede. Lock the study door. The work begins. I don't know if there's a way for me to force the music again. I think it's because I didn't stop. I kind of kept the game going while between videos, so... All right, the auctioneer's gavel bangs. My item is sold. So, of course, I'm very used to having sold the silver spintrea, which is worth quite a bit more. But this should be enough to keep me going, so we'll take Keeglin's Scratch. This is, here the Romans dug for silver until they reached the unsanctioned space where the names hid things not fit for sunlight. Many others have come since then, even as the tunnels crumble. Some have never left. And let's bring Pope Clifton along. We prepare for the descent. We are to bring rope, tools, light. We arm ourselves against anything down there that may yet move. So here I think I'm also going to bring Valsine. So the idea here is, the tools are probably going to associate most with Forge. And, light is light. This is mostly just searching. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to find in here. So this is mostly just, I wanted to populate the description of the expedition. Couldn't quite get anything fully, I couldn't get something that was a real, like, bang on, this is definitely it. But this is a good starting guess, in my opinion. Again, I'm sure if you play this game quite regularly or have a better memory for this sort of thing than me, then I'm sure a lot of this becomes trivial. But I will admit, I actually kind of like the fact that I haven't memorized everything because it means that I still get surprised. Okay, well, if I want to do another summoning, the Subtle Rupture, I could do worse. The one worry I have is whether or not I'll be able to keep it. Let's try the Painted River. Ah, curses. Light leaks through the cracks. My mind is brighter than it ever was. The higher I rise, the more I see. I dreamt of the mantis behind the white door, of the great space above the orchard, the space that overlooks the bounds, the space where the vagabond once painted her river. Painted ships passed upon the painted river. I met the painted eyes of a painted captain. She saluted, and the motion was like the layered movement of clouds. The sail of the ship was amber, and the captain's eyes the green of new barley, and the river aquamarine. Now that I'm awake, I see those colors still. So we do still have a little bit of a fleeting reminiscence left over, so I will use that first, then I will get rid of the affliction. Alright, I also got to get rid of the chilly atmosphere soon. Okay, our expedition plans for the next challenge. It'll consume funds. I could add funds now, or I could send another follower. So the Forge was a good call. I think winter will be the answer here. So not all dead rest easy. These ones dislike our intrusion. We can prevail against them with edge, or they may obey one who comes in the name of winter. So let's get Eau Claire in there. Obviously, our other winter disciple is otherwise occupied. Not all of the Forge children are bright. Its offcuts and its bastards gather in the bounds like hammerscale in the cracks of a smithy floor. Here comes one now. Okay, I'm actually going to change this up. So Eau Claire, we'll get rid of them. So Callagine doesn't... Well, no, it gives me the Forge, so that's a help. I mostly just want to put this on the expedition so that they're not ticking down anymore. So let's go back to Glover and Glover for now. I can't quite afford to skip out on work entirely. This is the real drawback with the approach of trying to, how'd I put it? Trying to avoid, of course the notoriety doesn't get picked up. Couriers arrived with from our delight, with a single vial of their most holy blood. So the drawback about trying to rely on Spintrea is that if you want to go on expeditions, you can't sell Spintrea. And expeditions tend not to give you money. All right, from the mid-1860s, one Madame Yee presented an entertainment based, she claimed, on this book. The centipede always found her way into the dark places. When she was punished for it, she reacted badly, in the Mansis, as in Maya. Well, while I'm at it, start exercising a little more diligence. An unveiled angle. At a certain angle, my thoughts reflect the Mansis light. Our enemy seeks to learn that angle, so I don't have any fascination, which is good. Optimism is the spice which saves. So, let's get this pawn and upgrade them, otherwise I'm going to have to deal with some dread. So, we will take the Order of the Bloody Cup. Hello, pawn. Hello, winter. Hello, red soap. Sorry, we need something a little sterner. Let's just use the Anthic elaboration. My follower will kneel as a novice and rise as an initiate. I will administer the necessary oaths myself. The air is curdled now. I am home again in this lumpen flesh. Better, perhaps. So we'll take our affliction, combine that with vitality, and heal. And there is a reason why I'm dedicating myself at Glover & Glover. I'm going to try and get a little bit more money, but it does require some certain regrettable necessity. Oh! Save across treacherous ground. We invoke the Madrigard. An hour of forge as well as winter. We'll make our own path through. Success is almost certain. Okay, I was thinking of doing bringing along another individual, but it didn't matter. So we're mud spattered and thorn scratched, but we've made it through. So I do need to make sure that I bring in another winter follower. I actually need to bring in 2. A promotion! Mr. Alden, the supervisor of records, has called me into his office to recognize my diligence. I watch the mole on his neck as he talks, and talks, and talks. But at the end of it, I have a promotion. My new position is better paid, and the desk stands by the street below. But I work directly for Mr. Alden now. Mr. Alden is known to be exacting. So, here is the problem with Glover & Glover. Now I only have 57 seconds to arrive at work. Or, sorry, 60 seconds to arrive at work. So, ooh, this is gonna get scary. Well, we always ran the risk. That's why we got the Callagine. I'm better paid than I was, but Mr. Alden has taken an interest in me. Mr. Alden is very particular. Mr. Alden likes things done just so, and Mr. Alden has never believed that I am qualified for this position. The river runs through the sands out of myth into legend. The painted river runs the other way. One is barred to the centipede now, but she finds ways back in sometimes. And on that note, we've just gotten far more mundane employment, but we have almost completed our Karashim jobs. So I am going to have to leave that for next week. Let's just take a second here and put Violet in, otherwise I'm going to forget. But I do want to take a second to thank you for watching. As before, I've tried to take the introductions and all of that, put it to the end. But as always, if you have been enjoying the series and you have not yet subscribed, I'd love it if you would. And of course, you can hit the bell for notifications if you want to be notified when new things are coming up. I do love reading your comments. And so, as usual, feel free to put a like if you liked it. I don't feel particularly hard done by if you put a dislike. It does help me to get an idea about what may or may not be working. And you've all been very so kind in your comments, so if you ever have something you want to say, if you just want to say hi, I always appreciate it. Until next week, thank you for watching.